Hello and welcome to the 10th annual McDonald's Sunshine Coast Half Marathon. And this year, the Australian Half Marathon Championships as well. We're going to find out today who is the best in the land over the 21.1 kilometre torture test. I'm Josh Minogue. Joining me in commentary is Australian running royalty. Let me get this right. 3-time Olympian, 2-time Commonwealth, 4-time Olympian, can't forget that. 2-time Commonwealth Games champion, world champion as well, Rob De Castella. Rob, welcome to the Sunshine Coast. It's a very chilly morning, but we're in for a great day.
Yeah, look, great to be here. Great conditions for racing this morning. First time for me up here. I've heard a lot about this race, and it's a great course, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all goes. And obviously, you know, this is where the 2032 Olympic Marathon course will be held, the race will be held, so really keen to have a bit of a look around and see what the land lies. But I've heard really positive things, so looking forward to a great race this morning. And the half is a great distance to race. Not quite as smashing on the body as the marathon, but certainly a hell of a lot harder than the 10K, so it's a great distance.
And I was going to say, it's a tough distance to get right. Go out too hard and you may have nothing left in the last few kilometres. Take it too easy early on and you won't get that time. How difficult is it to balance a good half marathon?
Yeah, look, it's a lot easier than the marathon, but you still, you know, sort of, it's a great event because you can have the 5, 10K runners stepping up to the half, and you can have the marathon runners coming down. So, you know, it depends very much on your strengths, whether you are someone who just goes out and runs hard and even pace all the way, or whether you want to sort of tuck in a little bit behind the lead pack and maybe, you know, wait for that last 1 or 2K to make you move. So great event, really looking forward. We've got some great runners in the field, and hopefully we'll get some good fast times. Great conditions. Bloody cold for commentating, but terrific for racing.
That's exactly right. The Atlas Multisport Events team, they run marathons all over the country, Sunshine Coast, Cairns, and of course Hobart, and it feels more like Hobart here today than the Sunshine Coast. Hopefully it'll warm up a little bit. We're not too far away from the race start. The half marathon and the marathon will kick off at 6 o'clock. We have the wheelchair competitors. They'll go just before 6 o'clock, so it'll be good to see them sort of get into the action on the course. And like you said before, it's nice and fast, so we're expecting fast times here, and we've got some interviews coming up with the likes of Brett Robinson and Lisa Waitman, and they're our red hot favourites in this field, and it's sort of a matter of who can jump up and maybe steal this Australian title from them.
Yeah, you're spot on. I mean, both Brett and Lisa are on track to run international marathons. You know, Lisa's heading over to Berlin in a few weeks' time to race over there, and Berlin's one of the majors. It's a super fast course, and I know she really wants to run fast. And Brett's heading back to London, so you know, really important preparation for them.
Yeah, it will be. Well, we're speaking about a few of the athletes. Let's take a look at the top 5 of the men's and the women's that we have in this course today, in this event today. And we'll kick things off with the men. And Brett Robinson, he is the red hot favourite, the only man to go sub 60 minutes, or the only Australian man. I don't know if he's going to go this fast today, Rob, but he is a very good half marathon athlete.
Yeah, no, he's had a good chat to him yesterday. He's not quite going 100% all out because the half does take a little bit out of you before you head into a marathon just in a few weeks' time. But he reckons he's in great form and really looking forward to a good hard race.
That's it. The second seed, Sam McEntee, the man looking most likely to push him the whole way. He has a PB of 63.01, so he'll be trying to go a little faster on this quick course here today. The number 3 seed is the defending champion. He's the Queensland local. He won the race last year, the Australian half marathon champion. That's Jack Bruce. He also won the 10K back in 2019, so he's a man familiar with the course. He knows exactly what is up ahead of him here today. He looks like another one who's pushing for that podium there. The next man on our list, well, it's a great story. Michael Roger, he is a below-the-elbow amputee, 4-time Paralympian. And get this, Rob, you'll understand these sorts of things. World record holder from 1,500 metres all the way up to the marathon. And he is, well, a very special competitor, and he'll look to push the boys coming off a big Boston Marathon earlier in the year.
Yeah, and from Canberra as well, so it's great to see the Canberra representation. I see Michael out about doing a bit of running. So great to have him up here.
And the 5th seed in there, well, the Ethiopian marathon runner, Abe Bele there, he's actually got an IOC scholarship to come out to Australia and stay as a refugee. He is looking for Paris 2024, and it's an incredible story. We'll get into it as the race kicks off. But that's our top 5 in the men's. Let's take a look at the women's. And well, the number 1 seed, she is the course record holder, 4-time Olympic marathon runner, dual Commonwealth Games medalist, Lisa Waitman. She is very quick over this distance, has run 68.48 in the past, right here on this course, and she's the one to beat and probably the unbackable favourite.
I think so, yeah. And like we said, she's heading to Berlin. She really wants to get that fast time. Lisa's a great competitor. Really tough, and you know, she's in great shape. So again, you know, probably not absolutely busting her legs and smashing them, but will run really well.
The number 2 seed, Abigail Nordberg from New South Wales, ran a PB earlier this year all the way down in Tasmania. So she's in good form. Watch her early on to push the pace. The number 3 seed is the defending champion, Tennille Ellis. She is from Queensland and she ran that 1:14 here. Not her PB, but a very quick time. And she knows what it takes to win on this course, and expect her to push Lisa the entire way. The internationals, they've come out as well. Well, Renee Ringi, she's from Estonia, lives on the Gold Coast. She's been battling some injuries over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, but she is our defending marathon champion, so she's dropped down in pace, and it'll be interesting to see what she can produce, Rob.
Yeah, it's you know, marathon runners obviously have got that endurance over that last 5K. So you know, if she's up there, and Lisa's if she's trying to be conservative, and Renee's really hammering home, who knows? Maybe she can stretch her out of it.
We'll be in for a tight finish. And our last of the top seeds, Sinead Noonan. An interesting story here, comes from cycling. She's was the Australian national road racing champion, lived in Europe in her late teens and 20s, and now has come back to Australia, taking up running. And she's probably the athlete with the biggest upside here. She's only new to the sport, has a pretty quick PB at the 75-minute mark here, and I expect big jumps over the next couple of years for her.
Yeah, look, interesting progression. You know, sort of cycling obviously really works the cardiorespiratory system, so she's super fit, but probably doesn't have the same strength conditioning through the legs. You know, the running on the roads is just hard on your legs, and she has had a few injuries, but certainly from a fitness perspective, if she can hold her body together, she's probably got a lot of potential.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's take a look at the course that they're going to run today. One of the most picturesque courses anywhere in the world, the Sunshine Coast McDonald's Half Marathon. We'll kick things off right here in Alexandra Headlands, and it's immediately straight up into the action over the hill into Mooloolaba for the southern turn. They'll get all the elevation out of the way early on in the half marathon. We'll head down through Maroochydore and Cotton Tree and onto the shores of the Maroochy River. They'll run along the Maroochy River for, well, most of the way there. A turn out in my part of the world, out in Rosemount. It's very flat out through that section, so it'll make for very fast running through the centre of the race. They'll head back along the Maroochy River through Cotton Tree, Maroochydore, and right to the finish here in Alexandra Headland. It's all elevation early in the first 2 or 3 kilometres, but from then on, it's very, very flat. Rob, what do you think of the course?
I love it. I love it. I wish I was about 20 years or 30 years or maybe even 40 years younger. But great course, as you say, getting the hills out early. You know, sort of it's a nice warm up and shake the body out. Guys will be a little bit sluggish and lethargic after tapering over the last half of the week, and then to be able to settle into a good rhythm. The out and back is really good as well in these sorts of races where you've got a crowd on the other side. You know, as you're coming back, the other runners are giving you a great cheer, and it creates a great atmosphere for you to really finish strong. And
those hills early on can certainly, well, it can make your race or it can break your race. You go too hard too early and you'll pay for it on the back end. We spoke about the favourites in the top 5. We caught up with Brett Robinson and Lisa Waitman earlier in the week. Let's go and have a look at what they've got to say about the McDonald's Sunshine Coast Half Marathon.
Guys, I'm with Brett Robertson, our number 1 seed for the half marathon running tomorrow. Brett, welcome to a fantastic backdrop. Welcome to Sunny Coast.
It's very nice here. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to get out there tomorrow and have a crack.
You haven't run here before? It's been on your bucket list, I suspect.
Yeah, it definitely has. I think I was planning to come up a couple of years ago maybe, but then maybe COVID stopped that. But yeah, I'm happy to be here and looking forward to running a good one. I heard it's a good course, a few little hills, but apart from that, pretty good.
We've got the Manulabar Hill in the first part of the race, and then after you get back here and you pass the finishing line on your way out, it's flat from that point onwards, which is going to make for a quick time.
Yeah, I think obviously you don't want to waste too much energy on those hills, and then once you get over that, you can really get rolling and get into the race.
So Brett, obviously we know that you've beaten the Australian all-comers record, but just not here in Australia. That was in Tokyo, and it was sub 60.
Yeah, 59.57 in Japan. So it's under that time, but it is hard to go and run 61.11, which is the time. So I have to be in really top shape to do that, and I'm in good shape, but I don't know if I want to really go for it tomorrow. I think it takes a lot out of my body, and at the moment I'm training for a marathon, so I would hate to go for it and get it and then be no good in training for 2 weeks. So I think tomorrow it's more about getting the win.
So you get to 15K, you look at your watch, you think, wow, I'm on target. You have to make a decision, don't you? Are you going to have a crack at it or not? And of course, we've got Pat Carroll at the finishing line. He'll just be ecstatic whether you get it or you don't get it.
I think he'll be more happy if I don't get it. So if I get to 15K on time, I'll go for it. But I reckon I'll probably just run around the first 10K and just see what the other boys want to do, and then see, if I want to push it from there. So I probably have to make up a lot of time, I'd say, that way.
Mate, that's great. Now, I did ask you at the beginning of this interview, before we started, I asked Brett, what's a question no one's ever asked you? And he said, well, no one's ever asked me who's special in my life. So I'm asking you now, Brett, who's special in your life?
I have to say my girlfriend first because she'll kill me otherwise. But this question was for my dog. But my little Nelson, a little French bulldog. So, but both of them will say, yeah.
Very safe answer. Well done, Brett. Look, good luck tomorrow. It's going to be a great race, and we look forward to having you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Guys, I'm here with Lisa Waitman, who's our number one seed for the half marathon, the Australian Half Marathon Championship, starting at 6 a.m, as everyone knows. Lisa, incredible pedigree, 4-time Olympian, dual Commonwealth Games competitor, and of course you have the Australian all-comers record at 1:08 here in 2019. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. The conditions look fabulous for the race, so we can't complain. It's a beautiful place to be. Looking forward to a really fun day tomorrow.
So we had a bit of rain today, but looks like Sunday morning, all nice and clear, and it'll be a good temperature and no rain. Bit of sunshine coming out. So how have you been fit? Any injuries to talk about?
No injuries, thankfully. It's been a really good build-up. I ran Gold Coast Marathon only last month and had a really good run there, and looking forward to this one just to really be part of the event. I think there was a lot of pressure on last time to break the record and be part of that fun history. This time, it'd be great to run fast again, but more focused on, being part of the event and enjoying the day.
Well, we have a fabulous photo of you crossing the finishing line when you broke that record. It was pretty special.
It would have to be the most special moment in my career, I have to say. It was such a fun event. I felt really good all the way through. It was a tough last K on the way to the finish, so to come through and run as fast as that, it was pretty special, and it'll be right up there in my heart, that's for sure.
Well, it's special for us to have you here again. You've been a great supporter of the event, and good luck. It's going to be great.
Thanks, and all the best to everyone out there. Hope it's an opportunity for everyone to really achieve their personal best and get to know each other on course. It's a great event.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, it's not just about the top-end competitors. There's thousands of people getting themselves ready, and a range of distances down here at the Sunshine Coast Marathon Festival. Not just the half Ironman. They run through from about 2K for the little kids all the way, all the people like me, all the way through to the full marathon here this morning. And you can see that the athletes are getting ready on the start line there. We're in for a huge day of racing, and we'll bring you all the action from the McDonald's Sunshine Coast Half Marathon and the Australian Half Marathon Championship. Now, Rob, Brett, he said there that he's just going to sort of run around early in this half marathon. For me, running around has taken it nice and easy. What does that mean for this men's field at the top end? What kind of pace are we going to be looking at for the first 10K?
Oh, look, I think when he says run around, he's probably talking about, sort of 3-minute Ks or maybe a little bit quicker, which is sort of, close to what he wants to run in the marathon. So the difference is more in your mind. Like, when you really want to have a crack, when the gun goes, you just plant your feet and you just take off and you absolutely, sort of bust your eyeballs all the way. But sort of the difference is that when you're really looking for a solid, hard run, but not absolutely, sort of knock yourself around, you're much more relaxed mentally, and then that flows on to being more relaxed physically. This is a stepping stone for him heading towards his marathon. And he really wants to probably just settle in that first 10K. As he said, he'll just see how the other guys are going. He'll be able to handle, whatever pace they're running at reasonably comfortably. And then depending upon how he's feeling over that last 10 to last 5K, he may screw it down a little bit and just squeeze it out. But he'll be well within himself, I think, and he just doesn't want to overdo it.
Well, let's hope we see something special from both the men and the women, that is for sure. We've got to talk about the weather because it is a beautiful day here on the Sunshine Coast. It's clear. The skies are, a beautiful shade of yellow and blue as the sun starts to rise, but it is pretty cold for the Sunshine Coast. We're sitting at about 9 to 10 degrees at the moment. It's going to get to a top of 22 later in the day, and that's probably more going to impact the marathon runners, not so much the half marathon guys, but it should make for good conditions for a quick half marathon here.
Yeah, I think it will. Sort of when you're talking about the conditions for distance running, you look at three things. You look at the temperature, which is really important. You look at the sunshine, the direct sun, and you also look at the humidity. And when you combine all of those things together, it gives you like a heat stress or a heat indicator. And here, we've got clear skies, so the humidity is relatively low. We've got low temperature, and at the moment there's no sun.
Perfect.
So it's perfect conditions to be endurance racing really hard. The half marathon probably not quite as critical as far as the conditions are concerned. All of these elite runners are well and truly in good form, and they'll be able to get out there and have a crack. The marathon runners that kick off also at 6 o'clock, so combined start. Sort of as the temperature is warming up, you'll see probably a lot more direct sunlight. And hopefully, the wind will stay. There's no wind at the moment. It's beautiful conditions. The wind will stay away. And the humidity may rise a little bit, but, terrific conditions. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's expected to stay light and breezy in terms of the wind all day. Not a cloud in the sky. The temps are low, and expect, a lot of PBs to be run for a lot of athletes across all the events right here on the Sunshine Coast Marathon Festival. But we are here for the McDonald's Half Marathon Championship, the Australian Championship as well. Lisa Waitman, she's looking for her 4th Australian title, won her first in 2007, and she said this race holds a special place in her heart. And I guess from your experience, if you keep going back to a place that you enjoy running, you've had good experience in the past, it seems like good things happen over and over again. So who knows what's going to happen for her. You said to me before she's preparing for some marathons later in the year, and I don't think Karen McCann's sort of Australian record is under threat, but she could run a fast time if she's happy out there on the course.
Yeah, look, sort of psychologically, having run really well here before, she ran a PB here back in 2019. So you come back to a place where you've got good feelings, good memories, and then obviously being familiar with the course is a great advantage as well. She knows where she is, and just having that really sort of the degree of confidence and to be in great shape. She said she hasn't had any injuries. She's in great preparation leading into Berlin, and I would be surprised if she's challenged out there. But the interesting thing will really be to see how fast she can run conservatively, because that will give us a great insight into her condition leading into Berlin.
Form.
Berlin's one of the fastest marathons in the world, and she really wants to get that fast time.
Yeah, and it's a famous thing and something everybody wants to do in their career is win one of those famous marathons. So if this is a stepping stone, we might see something special from her today. And talking to them earlier in the week, the win is enough, and anything on top of that is a bit of a cherry on the cake. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, look, Australian titles are Australian titles. You know, sort of they go down in your history book, in your record book, and that's all part of the sort of the history that you create. That hopefully your kids will look back on, and having national titles is a really important element. Obviously, your personal best is the other really important thing, and then how you perform in the major championships. And she's done great in Commonwealth Games, being a medalist twice, and then to be able to really, sort of compete on that world stage. It's really, marathon running on the world stage is tougher than it's ever been. The depth through the African runners and all around the world, so many other nations are now really starting to step up. Obviously, the last couple of years have been really tough, and I had a great chat to Brett, because he was down in Melbourne. He grew up in Canberra, where I live now, and has now moved to Melbourne, where I grew up. And he was down there all the way through the lockdown, and it was really interesting talking to him about how he and his training buddies managed to still maintain their sort of 200, 220k a week in an environment where you're only allowed to go 5 kilometres from your home, and you're only allowed to run with one other person.
Oh, it's a lot of time on the treadmill and stuck doing the same loop over and over again. They're tough athletes.
Well, that's tough in the head, and that's all. I think maybe it's one of the reasons why we're seeing so many great performances at the Commonwealth Games and the World Championships recently, is that these runners have had such a tough preparation.
And we're off and away. So the field has kicked off for the McDonald's Sunshine Coast Half Marathon and the Australian Half Marathon Championships. They're into the action almost immediately, and well, as we thought, it's spread out already, and a couple of these boys have put the pace on very early on. And traditionally at the start of these events, you see a couple of guys who want a little bit of TV time. They think, if I go hard off the start, I can jump out in front and, well, maybe get my head on the camera here. But before long, the cream rises to the top. And how tough is it for these athletes to sort of hold back enough in those early stages? You've got the adrenaline, you've got the expectation there, and you've got the crowd on the sidelines. We saw the wheelchair athletes go just 5 minutes before them. It's only a very, very small field, a couple of competitors, so they'll be out on course as well throughout the day. But this is it, the Australian Half Marathon Championship as a part of the McDonald's Sunshine Coast Half Marathon. And Rob, we're into the action, and we'll be done in less than an hour, but fingers crossed. I don't know about that.
Yeah, look, the start's always interesting, for the elite guys, because they've had great, all of them, the whole elite field, and most of the runners out there have had hopefully a good preparation. They've really been focusing for a long time. Runners need a target. You need to have these goals, these little flags in the sand that motivate you to put on the shoes and get out the door and to do the training and to stay really 100% focused and committed to everything that you need to do. But then as you taper over the last week or so, you can get a little bit lethargic and your legs get a little bit heavy, and because you're heading into a big race, you're sort of really hypersensitive. Every little niggle and every little ache and every little sneeze and stuff you do, you're sort of getting concerned. But when the gun goes, all of that's behind you, and you just sort of need to settle into a rhythm over that first sort of 5 to 10k. And this is, a really interesting course where you sort of, the first 5k is a short out and back over a couple of hills. And then, sort of when you come past the start finish with the race precinct, again, then you've got 15, 16k to go to really, really settle into it.
And this is the lead pack at the start. And this is the hill that we spoke about. And already it's sort of broken up into, 7 or 8 athletes there. And Alex Hill, it's not the toughest hill you'll ever run. It's probably, 200, 300 metres of elevation all up, but it's a long grinding hill, and early on getting that in your legs can make you pay can make you pay the price later on in the race. So they'll be very conservative heading up and over this for the first time, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, they're just shaking their legs out, and I'll tell you, like if you're struggling in the first 5K, even up a little bit of a hill, then you're gonna have a bit of a tough day out there. So I'm sure they're all handling it relatively comfortably. They know. Those that have looked at the course know that there is a little bit of a hill out there, and it's pretty much the only hill that they're going to have on the course. And then once that's behind you, then it's nice, flat, smooth running. Great. The road surface is great. It makes a little bit of a difference. This real flat, shiny, hot mix is nice to run on, as opposed to some of the more coarse bitumen surfaces that you sometimes have. And it just feels fast. It feels almost like you're racing on a track surface, and that's what these guys want.
Tell me about some of the courses you would have run on in your day. There would have been maybe some goat tracks and some marathons around the world, not here on the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, cobblestones back in the old days when I used to sort of compete against the old gladiators out there.
Not here on the Sunshine Coast, and they've made the crest of the hill. They head down the hill into Mooloolaba for the turnaround. They'll go back over the top, and that will be all she wrote. It'll be flat after that, so expect the speed to come on. And 7 of the men, and this is the lead of the women's there. That is Lisa Waitman, and there'll be a couple of the men looking over their shoulder, really trying to avoid getting beaten by Lisa, but I don't think there'll be much she can do about it. And have a look already. She's broken up that women's field, and there's 1 or 2 in the background chasing hard, and we'll bring the splits. Every 5K we'll have the splits from the men and the women, so we'll run through that. But at the moment, it looks like she's pinned the ears back and gone for it. And, this race, I know it's early to call in the first 2 kilometres, but it might be over.
Well, early days, and like I said, I'm just really interested to see how fast she can run comfortably. And, this is a really important stepping stone for both Brett and Lisa as they head towards these big international marathons. And it'll be a great insight for us as spectators, and also really important for them to get an indication as to how their preparation is going. You can see, sort of a lot of the runners coming through now. This is a mixture of both the half marathon and the marathon. So the half marathon runners are in the yellow bibs, and the marathon runners are in the red bibs. And probably, obviously the men are all half marathon runners up the front there. But as we look back through Lisa and back through the field, you will see some of the men around Lisa who are running the full marathon. And she just really needs to settle in there. Runners, you run your own race. You get out there and you're in your own headspace, and it's all about you. But it is nice to have other runners around you to be able to, pull you through a little bit and settle in. And you just, there's pacemakers out here as well on the course, and that really helps a lot of the back markers to be able to aim for their PBs and run PBs.
We'll have a look at that there. As the sun starts to rise over Mooloolaba Beach, they've made the turn at the southern end of the course, so that's as far south as they'll go. They'll head back through Mooloolaba, and this will be the only time they travel through there, over the hill into Alexandra Headland, and then off, and they're about, I think that's about the 3K mark there, so we'll get a split coming up in not too long, and we'll head back to our women's leader here, Lisa. You'll probably see the men in the background. They'll be running the opposite direction, so she's settled in very nicely and has a nice group of the men around her, so that'll help her as well. Someone to run with, somebody to push her along, and she's looking very comfortable. You said before about you're interested to see how she runs within herself. How's she going to gauge that? Is that a feel thing that comes over time? Has she got a heart rate monitor there, or is it a combination of the two?
Oh no, it's a feel thing. I mean, you've been racing for years and years and years over everything from 1,500, 5Ks on the track, all the way up to marathons, and a lot of that is trying to get that sort of that little spit of sense that you have as to how your pace is going. You've got to stay relaxed, so it's really important to conserve your energy even in the half marathon. And that means that from your shoulders, your upper body, your hands, your face. You've really got to focus on just relaxation, but you've got to be strong through the legs. Running is just a controlled fall. It's a one-legged fall. You fall forward from one leg to the other, and your legs are like, sort of springs, or they're like little super balls, and you bounce. So your legs have got to be firm and strong, so that you're able to conserve the energy that springs you forward. But your upper body's got to be relaxed so that you can open up your lungs and you can get all the oxygen and the air in and not waste any energy. So really important to see this, and you can see the great running style that a lot of these guys have, where their hips are nice and horizontal, their shoulders are nice and horizontal, their arms are swinging comfortably across their body, but their legs, they look like pistons. They look like they're really strong and conservative. And you can see this fella here is a little bit bouncy. You really want to minimise the amount of upwards and downwards movement, so that all your energy is just propelling you forward, not up and down.
And I guess efficiency comes into it as well. You look at Lisa, she looks very efficient. There's not arms and legs going all over the place. It's nice and tight, but as you said, relaxed and I guess smooth, relaxed as smooth and smooth as fast when it comes to running. And she looks very smooth out on the course as she heads back up over Alex Hill, and you can see all the athletes streaming on the way down. So thousands and thousands taking to the streets of the Sunshine Coast for the McDonald's half marathon and the Australian half marathon championship there. And I can't see the girls in the background. This is the lead men's group. Abe Bele there, he's sitting in third place. And Michael Roger, the four-time Paralympian, he's stuck in that one as well. Brett Robinson's there, Sam McEntee. So all the big hitters, Jack Bruce as well. So all the big hitters in our top 7 heading down the hill, and that will be all the elevation they'll run for this entire course. So from here on out, it is completely flat all the way out to Rosemount and back. So they're just going to settle in, and it's about finding their rhythm from here on out, and it's not up and down. And when I say it's completely flat, I don't even think they step up on a gutter at all through the course. So that is how flat it is. That is how fast it is, and we're in for a cracker of the day here in the Australian Half Marathon Championship.
Yeah, look, Brett's settling in, like he said in his pre-race interview. He really just wants to see how the guys are going in this first 10K, and see how his body's feeling. See, what this is the first time he's been up here, so he hasn't run the course before. He only got in yesterday or the day before, so he hasn't really had a chance to look over the course, which isn't really that critical. Especially when it's nice and flat over that last 15K. And then, I'd imagine that once he gets past 10K, it'll be, again, interesting to see whether he actually follows his pre-race plan. And after that first 10K, in that second half of the half, he really starts to just stretch his legs out a little bit and open up a little bit. So, again, really, really insightful for us to be able to see how he's going. And there's, I think, Brett in the blue there. He's obviously feeling pretty good because he's up the front there, tucked in.
Yeah, he looks very, very comfortable. That is for sure. Caleb Noble there as well. The man in the fluoro gear there, you can't miss him. He's looking very, very good. More the triathletes, so come out to get involved in this one. And yeah, the boys, they've settled in very, very nicely, and they look comfortable at the moment. And this is the kind of group you want early on in a half marathon race as they come back past the start-finish line in Alexandra Headland Surf Club. So that is the target there. That's the finish, and they'll head all the way out, and they're about, at the 4 kilometre mark now. So we'll get the first split coming up, and that's the group heading through town. Big cheers as they come through, and they're absolutely loving it at the moment. The lead group of, 2, 4, 6, 7 there on the course, and the smallest man in there, the Ethiopian Abe Bele. He has a very quick time in 61 and change there, but hasn't been there in a long time. It's been a couple of years. He came out from Ethiopia to run the Melbourne Marathon, and he stayed as a refugee. He got an IOC scholarship to stay out here. They've supported his time here, and he's looking towards Paris 2024 and running the marathon there. So it'll be interesting to see how close to his best after a tough couple of years and a big change in his life.
Yeah, look, the Ethiopians, I don't know much about him personally, but I know a lot about Ethiopia.
Marathon running.
And goddamn, they really have some incredible talent over 5K, 10K, and all the way up to the marathon. And the great Haile Gebrselassie, the Emperor of Ethiopia, they used to call him. He was so passionate and proud about his country. He did pretty well through his marathon running. Went back, built a hospital for his community back there, and really is one of the superstars of our sport. And the Kenyans and the Ethiopians have just dominated world distance running now for the best part of at least the last decade. So it'd be great to see Abire, whether he can hold it together, relocating out here to Australia, completely different training environment, different family and social environment. So it's a credit to him having the courage to do that. And really wish him all the best as he settles into a new life out here. Running is an international family. There's marathons all over the world, and it doesn't matter what country you go to. When you go to a marathon, you're part of that international marathon family, and it's wonderful to be able to provide that opportunity to him to come out here and be part of our Australian marathon family, and up here racing, and fingers crossed he has a good one.
Yeah, and 42 kilometres is 42 kilometres no matter where you run it, and that's the special thing about these sorts of events. And take a look back at the lead woman here, Lisa Waitman, and there's some internationals in that women's field as well. We have the Estonian in there, and they can't seem to keep up with her at the moment. She looks so comfortable out in front, and it's daylight back to second. It'll be interesting to see once they go through the timing pad in that first split at the 5 kilometre mark, just how far behind they are this early on in the race. And she's settled into a very, very comfortable little group there. Lockie Kieran in front of her, so another Sunshine Coast local there. Triathletes have come out in force here to run the half marathon. He's number 4593 there. He's settled in and just playing pacemaker for our lead of the women there at the moment. And they're heading down towards Maroochydore for both the men and the women, and it's looking very, very strong. And this group's starting to break up ever so slightly.
Yeah, look, so, Brett's gone. I mean, he's been in the lead, but he's now sort of really gone to the front and opened up a metre or so on the rest of the field. And I sort of look at him and I feel as though he's holding himself back, like he's, he wants to go, his body wants to go, but he's saying, no, I've got to be conservative. I've got to hold myself back in that first 10K. So he's looking really, really good, and really keen to see how strongly he can finish this off. But he's in great shape there, and it is nice to have a small pack up there with you, and for you to sort of feel as though you're absolutely 100% in control. He would have come in very, very confident. He's had a great preparation, and he's just staying nice and smooth and relaxed. Wait and see as he goes through 10K. And just see how strongly he can finish the second half of this half marathon.
I guess he's like a thoroughbred racehorse. They want to run and they want to run fast,
exactly,
and holding back can sometimes be more difficult than sort of getting out and into it. But you spoke to him earlier in the week. He's got bigger goals this year than just this Sunshine Coast half marathon, but it's something that he wants to win. And he was pretty adamant yesterday that winning this race was the number one priority for him, and then running a good time was number two. So he said he was going to sit in and hold on and see what he's got in the second half, and he's certainly sort of playing that out. What would it take for one of the other guys to jump up and maybe take this title from him? Obviously something very, very special, but is it about running their own race, or are they going to try and do the same thing and maybe force the screws on him?
Yeah, look, you always want to run your own race. You want to go out there and you want to run the best that you can possibly run. Hopefully you run a PB, a personal best. You use the runners around you to help you, to drag you through to your best times. For any of the other guys to challenge Brett, something pretty dramatic has got to happen to Brett. I don't think that they're in a position to be able to step up to his level and challenge him over that last 5 5K or 10K. So the only thing really would be if something happens to Brett, which we never want to see.
No.
But his body's in good shape. Runners, when you're training hard, you're always sore. Your quality sessions, they're doing sort of 3 hard quality sessions, 2 long runs every week. So you're always sore and you're always on the verge of your next injury. It's a little bit like, having all of the links in a chain, and that you have one link, which may be your Achilles or your back or something, stress fractures or something, which is your weak link. And that becomes something that you monitor to give you an indication as to whether you're overtraining or not. He's in good shape, and I think he'll sort of finish strong and hopefully just blow the field away in the last half.
He'll hope that, that's for sure. We just saw a look at the splits through the 5 kilometre mark, and they're running about the 3:01 pace at this point, and that's something you called it before the race. That'd be what they'll be looking for, and it was Caleb Noble in the fluoro who's just dropped to the back of that pack there, the triathlete. He was leading them through, and then Robinson, he was in second, so 15:07 through the 5K mark. Liam Bowden, he was there as well, so he is one to watch. He was second in this event last year, so he's got experience in this one. Jack Bruce, the defending champion. Sam McEntee, he was our number 2 seed. He was in that group. Adrian Potter was there. Abe Bellet and Michael Roger. That was our group of 8 men in the lead, and then it's a big gap back to the next group. They're at 112 behind. So group number 2, 112 behind, and that include the likes of Tim Hewitt, Ben Cook, Kai Lok Wong from Hong Kong. So the internationals, Nick Dennis, Andrew Day, Chris Waters and Lockie Kieran. That was the group with Lisa Waitman. She's gone through in just over 16 and a half minutes on the women's side. So 16:36 through for Lisa Waitman. So strong from her. What do you think of that split at the 5K?
Look, it's pretty much what he was talking about before. So his race plan is being put into action, which is always nice. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, but he's running round about sort of that 3:01 pace is probably about 2:07, 2:08 for the marathon. So he's running about sort of that 63, 64 minutes for the half. So he's well and truly within himself. We know that he's got a PB. He's the only Australian who's run under the 60 minutes, under the hour for the half marathon. And again, sort of Lisa's just tucked in there. You can see her. Sometimes it's a bit annoying having so many men around you. But I guess, she's been in this place, in this position before many times, so she's quite comfortable. It can be annoying if any of the runners get too close and they start clipping your heels from behind, or they slow down in front and you start clipping their heels. But never ceases to amaze me how it appears on the screen that you're in the middle and there's people all around you and whatever, and you're running.
It looks like chaos.
It looks like chaos and it looks really uncomfortable. But when you're actually out there, you're really able to manage the space around you and the other runners, and especially if they're experienced runners, then they're not changing their pace up and down, nice, steady, even paced, and you just sort of all get pulled along together. So it's good to see.
Yeah, she is in the lead. At this point, she has about, a minute ahead of Cassie Feen, and we hadn't spoken about Cassie in the past. She's a former Australian half marathon champion a few years ago, so she's about a minute down to, 125 behind Lisa, so that's a massive gap after only 5 kilometres, and you'd expect it to open up more and more. Lydia O'Donnell sitting in third, and Vanessa Wilson, and Isabella Pickett. That's our top 4 on the women's side of things. And Brett Robinson, is he starting to turn the screws a little bit on these men? They're drifting away, and we've had 1 or 2 drop off already from this group. You can see one drifting off in the distance there, but it's a very strong group. The likes of Noble, Robinson, Bowden, McEntee, Bruce, Potter, Bellet and Roger there, and it's a good group of runners, that's for sure, and it might just be Michael Roger there, the Paralympian, who's drifting off the back. I'm not 100%, but we'll wait and see there. But a strong group on the front, and Caleb Noble in the Fluoro, he looks like he's sort of doing it a little bit tough as Brett Robinson really starts to wind it up.
Yeah, so for these other guys, sort of running 63, 64 minutes for the half, running at that pace, close to 3-minute Ks, is they're close to their red line. They're right on their threshold, whereas Brett's well and truly comfortable. And he's still holding himself back. He's sticking to his race plan, and probably waiting for that 10K mark. Running a hard 21K, running a hard half marathon will smash his legs around, and he knows that. He doesn't want to come off this half marathon and go into the final stages of his London preparation with tired and heavy and sore legs. So he's being conservative, but he knows when he gets to 10K, he only got 11K to go. A hard 10K is fine. He'll bounce back from a hard 10K really, really quickly and comfortably. So I think, I would imagine that it's actually going to be really important for him to finish on strong over this last 10K, to have a really good hit out, because, as I said before, this is a really critical stepping stone on his path to his London Marathon, where he really does want to run fast. He was talking yesterday about wanting to break my Australian all-comers record, which is, set way back in 1986, way back when they used sundials to measure the time instead.
I don't know about that.
But he knows to do that, he's got to run faster than this and maintain it for the full marathon. So he's got to run in a sort of 3 minutes Ks all the way through the 42K, and so he's got to be really comfortable running at 3:02, 3:05 kilometre pace to be able to get anywhere near my 2:07. So, but and I said to him, mate, you go for it. It's about bloody time that someone broke that record.
I was going to ask a question only you can answer. Do you want people to break those records, or does a little part of you to think, oh, I've still got it, and good luck, boys?
We had a good laugh because sort of there's a lot of debate about these new shoes.
Yeah, okay.
These carbon springy shoes that they're all wearing. The technology has taken the distance running up, and even track running now, up to another level. And I said, mate, look, I'd love you to break my record, but don't break it by 1 second. You get out. If you run 2:07.50 and my record's 51, I'll be a bit annoyed.
Okay.
But, go out there and smash it. Take a minute off it. And then I'll know it's you and it's not the bloody shoes.
Really put some time into it. Very, very good, that's for sure. They've made their way through Maroochydore and Cotton Tree, and they're onto the shores of the Maroochy River now. They'll head basically straight inland and follow the Maroochy River along Bradnam Avenue there. The man in second place, Sam McEntee, there. Someone we haven't spoken about. He was an Olympian over the 5 kilometre stretch in 2016. So the cream really is rising to the top here. And these two men know each other very, very well. They were teammates on that Olympic team over 5 kilometres. And it just seems like Brett's made the jump up to the half marathon a little bit easier. And how different is it running 5K up to the half marathon distance? And I know for you, mere mortal, it doesn't seem like much, but they're worlds apart in athletics, aren't they?
Yeah. The sort of 5K runners sort of race 1,500, 5K, maybe occasionally do a 10K. Their whole physiology and energy system is completely different to the half marathon and the marathon. But they also do long runs. So they're still out there doing their 2.5 hour long runs on Sundays and putting the miles in their legs. But the interesting thing for the 5K runners stepping up to the half will be how well they can manage that last 5K. Handling it really well in this first 5 and 10K because it's easy. They're in comfortable territory. That's where they live all the time. But that second half from 10K through to 20-21K will be a different territory that he's playing in. And will be good to see how well he goes, because the 5K training and the 5K runners' basic physiology is quite different to the half marathon and the marathoners, where Brett's really focusing all of his training and preparation now. But that's the great thing about the half marathon is that you do, as I said before, you can have the 5K runners and the 10K runners stepping up to the 21K, and you have the marathon runners
coming down,
that are really sort of looking for a good hard hit out on their path through to running their marathon. So it's a nice opportunity to get the best of our Australian distance runners all together racing each other.
And have a look at those shots. That's the Maroochy River in the background as they head along Bradnam Avenue, one of the most picturesque courses anywhere in the world for a half marathon. And if you get the opportunity, come to the Sunshine Coast to run in this marathon festival. There's plenty of events on all week, and I know you've been up for a few days enjoying all the action. And it is a wonderful, wonderful course out here as they cruise along the shores of the Maroochy River. There's a couple of big hitters in this group as well. I'll just take a look at a couple of the boys. Liam Bowden's in there, ranked 7th in Australia over the half marathon this year. He's been quick so far, but he'll be looking for a big, big run, and he was 2nd in this event last year, so he'll be looking to go one better. And of course, our defending champion, who is in that one as well, Jack Bruce, and very quick. He got 3rd in the Australian 5K Championship earlier in the year. He's got speed, and he's got track record over this event, so he'll be looking for a strong run in this one as well. It looks like Abbe Ballet is dropping off the back, and so is Caleb Noble, and the real runners are going to drop the triathlete here and sort of, well, say it's time to get serious.
Yeah, and these guys will be out there trying to run their best times. They've come up here to finish as high up as they can, and if Brett makes any mistakes or if anything happens out there, then they'll be right on his shoulder and ready to pounce. But ideally, what they're doing, every runner in the race today is here to run their best.
Yep.
And I tell you, the conditions are absolutely perfect. The course is absolutely perfect. Flat, fast. Look at the shine off that surface. It's like a track race, and they'll be up here all enjoying this well-organised event. The Atlas team have got an amazing track record of putting on first-class events. The location here, preparation for the Olympic marathon in 2032. And I can't wait to be able to showcase this beautiful part of Australia to the rest of the world in 2032. And I think as we get closer and closer to the games, we're going to have more and more runners from all over Australia coming up here to run in this beautiful location and be part of the event. And as you said, it's a festival. We've got the 5K and the 2K runs out there as well, the 10K, this half marathon, and also the marathon. So it's a festival of running all day, and a great location to bring the family, come up here, have a run, stay around for a week or so, and enjoy the great location up here.
Yeah, and you take a look at the competitors who've won this race in the last couple of years, the honour roll. It reads like a who's who of half marathon and marathon running. We've had Jack Bruce in 2021. 2019, of course, we had COVID in the middle there, was Kevin Batt. He ran a 64.12. Jack Rayner in 2018, he ran a 64.02, and Collis Birmingham in 2017 was a 63.18. So that's the course record out here. That'll be tough to beat, but it looks something maybe more likely for Brett Robinson on the front there. That 63 mark, is that sort of the expectation that we have for him looking at the way this race is panning out?
Yeah, I think so. He's running about that pace now, and he's pulling the reins back, so he's holding himself back. And I would expect that he should be able to finish on the second half of this even faster. He should be able to negative split and run faster in the second half. And that's what I'd like to see from him to really excite me as he heads into the London Marathon. Sort of anyone in the marathon anyone can run well to halfway. The marathon doesn't start until 30K. The marathon is all about that last 12K, when you hit the wall and you start to get depleted and you start to get tired and sore and chafing and blisters, and you're losing toenails and all that good stuff. and then that's when you got to dig deep, and that's when you got to really be able to push hard over that last. You look at the breath coming off the guys, which is an indication of the great conditions out there. Nice, cool temperature and perfect conditions to be racing.
As happens on the Sunshine Coast, I think it's got a little cooler as they've sort of gone through, and the boys are well through the 10-kilometre mark there, and we'll just try and get the splits up for you in a little matter of time. And we had the men's on a roll. We'll take a look at the women's on a roll, and of course Tennille Ellis, she won it last year in 76.18. Lisa Waitman was there in 2019 in the course record, and then in 2018 it was Sinead Diver in a 69.20 and Linda Spencer in 2017 at 75.40. And I don't know if that leaderboard there is the correct one, because our man out in front, Brett Robinson, he is on top, and it's definitely not Tim Hewitt. I think he's sitting down in that second group, so maybe we've got the splits for the second group there, and it's definitely Brett Robinson in front. And by my calculations, he went through somewhere in the 30-minute mark, just over the 30-minute mark through the 10K, and it's already starting to break up, and a couple of these boys are really being put under the pump. Sam McEntee there trying to hold on, and he's starting to tighten the screws ever so slightly. And, well, these boys, they're in for a little bit of a rough 5Ks from here on out, that's for sure, as they head out towards the turning point at Rosemount.
Look, just looking at Brett now, he's a completely different runner than what he was in that first 10K.
Yeah, definitely.
The first 10K, he was pulling the reins and holding himself back. He got to 10K and he's okay, bang, off we go. And now he's started to put the screws down, and his whole attitude, his whole demeanor, whatever it is.
His demeanor's changed.
Demeanor has changed, and I would expect in the next couple of K he's going to break away from these guys, and he's going to be now racing against himself and against the clock, and his mind will be on London, and saying, okay, I've got to get myself out of this now.
Yeah, and we'll take a look. That seems a little bit more correct there. That was Robinson on the front, but Abba Ballet, he's drifted off the back as well. He's not sitting in this group either. So we'll try and get that action through to you in just a few moments. Lisa Waitman's through the 10K. She is sitting at around 33.09 through the 10K mark for her. So very strong from Lisa. Brett was through in 30 and 19 seconds through the 10K mark. So big gap back from the women's race. She's sitting up in, I think in about 16th place overall. So a strong run from Lisa. And they're at the 10K mark. They're heading down and through the farms out at Rosemount there. They'll make the turn and then back onto the river. And we're just down to 4 in our lead pack at the moment. And the cream rising to the top. The two Olympians there, 1 and 2. And there's a little gap at the moment as well. So it'll be interesting to see what we've got. Adrian Potter is there, and so is Liam Bowden as well. Jack Bruce is in the mix, and this is the women's course. The women's leaderboard, and the women's leader, Lisa Waitman, there, Paige Campbell. Danielle Allen, so the local former Ironwoman there, she's just a minute behind Sarah Klein and Sinead Noonan. We spoke about Sinead before the race, and Sarah Klein's one we didn't speak about. She's someone that, very experienced. She 14th at the World Marathon Championships in 2022. She's all-time top 100 Australian half marathon runner. So pretty special, the Victorian there. Has a PB of 67.02, and she's a quality half marathon runner there, and she'll be sitting in nicely. And it seems like that second group, they're just racing for the podium on the women's side.
Yeah, look, sort of Lisa's second 5K was a little bit slower, which is interesting because that first 5K with the hills is probably, you'd expect to be sort of a little bit slower, which is what Brett was. Brett's first 5K just a few seconds slower than the second from 5 to 10. And again, it's an indication now that Brett's really started to put the screws in and started to open it up. Nice and smooth, even running from side to side. As I was saying before, running is just a controlled fall where you want to fall from one leg to the next. You only ever have one foot on the ground at any one time when you're running. And as you land, your whole body weight comes down. your spring, your legs are these springs, and now they have these great shoes to be able to capture the force of gravity and be able to propel and spring you forward. So it's a really efficient way to be able to run.
And the leaders have made the turn out at Rosemount, so we can see it's a lot cooler out there. You get away from the coast, the temperature drops 2 or 3 degrees. We can see the breath coming out. This is the lead women's group in there. Lisa Waitman, she's stuck in behind a few of the boys, and well, she's sitting in nicely, hasn't caught any wind, if there was any out there, as they head over the bridge. They're about a kilometre or maybe less than a kilometre from the turning mark, and we'll probably see the boys coming back through there. That's the Maroochy River in the background, and it's a lead group of 4. Robinson, McEntee, Jack Bruce, Liam Bowden, and, well, Adrian Potter just has drifted off the back. So is Caleb Noble. Abe Ballet is in 7th. Roger in 8th. Hewitt, Cook, Wong, Dennis, Waters. And this is that group there. Waters, Waitman, Lockie Kieran, Andrew Day, Tim Barnett, Bryn Nichols, Hamish Hamilton, and Paul McKay. That is our top 20 through the 10-kilometre mark here. And this is the second group on the road, well, the second essentially group on the road. There's a few that have dropped off that lead group, and our lead woman there as well. We'll take a look at the women's. Cassie Fiend's still in there as well. We'll head further down. Lydia O'Donnell, Vanessa Wilson, Isabella Pickett. There's plenty that have made their way on the women's side. Tennille Ellis is there. She's about, well, 2 minutes, 3 minutes down on our leader. So plenty of work to do for the women if they want to catch Lisa. And she is in another class, that is for sure, out here on the course. And she'll have a look around and get the opportunity to have a look back. But I guess for her, it's just how quick can she go in this race.
Yeah, look, and, you know, she's in probably an interesting position at the moment because she knows she's, you know, most likely going to get the win, which is great. But, you know, with all of these fellas around her, with all of the field, the pack there, she now needs to decide whether she just continues to tuck in and just get dragged along with the rest of the field, or whether she has a bit of a crack and whether she gets out there and starts to race hard in this second half. You know, I would probably like to see her have a bit of a go. You know, she knows she's got the win comfortably, you know, under her belt now, so that's not an issue. And now, you know, it's all about really trying to push yourself out over this second 10K. As I said, that second 5K, from 5K to 10K, was a little bit slower, which indicates that maybe, you know, sort of the guys are not going to continue to push her out and stretch her out in the second half. So, you know, hopefully, if she can just have a bit of a breakaway and get out there and just race herself, get away from the rest of the fellas and the field, and just, you know, have her own race in this closing stages. And Brett's looking great. You know, here he is, you know, sort of nice and comfortable, strong. You know, sort of, you know, Sam still, is that Sam?
Yep, Sam just sitting off him
there, and you know, these guys obviously have raced each other and they know each other, but, you know, sort of the hard part of the running is going to be in this closing stages, and Sam being a 5K specialist, stepping up to the half, I'd expect him probably to find it a lot harder over the last 5K of the 21K than Brett. Brett is really now heading out into the territory that he's really comfortable with and should really be able to finish on strong. But, you know, sort of Sam's holding on, and that's good for Sam. He's getting dragged through to a good fast time for him, and it's good for Brett to know that you know, he's still got to focus and concentrate, and he can't just, you know, completely forget about the rest of the field.
That's the turn for the lead women there. Lisa Waitman makes the turn, and she will have a look back at the rest of the women as they come down. And there's about, at the last check, a minute 10 back to the second group. There's a group of 3 or 4 girls in there, and then a much bigger gap back to the rest of them. And a group of 5 became a group of 2 on the men's side of things. Jack Bruce, Liam Bowden and Adrian Potter, they've just drifted off since we made the turn. So from 10 to, well, where we are now, heading into that 15K mark, it seems like the pace has really lifted. These two have started to tighten the screws, and it's the two Olympians, Brett Robinson and Sam McEntee. There, they both went to 2016, and of course, Brett ran the marathon in Tokyo 2020. Do you say 2021 or 2020? But the delayed Olympics we just had not too long ago, and those two have really, well, put the pressure on Jack Bruce, the defending champion. Of course, Liam Bowden, he was on the podium last year as well. And Adrian Potter, he's a very, very quick man. He ran a PB of 65 minutes on the Gold Coast in July. He's gone sub 14 minutes over 5K, so he's a good runner, but maybe suited to the shorter distance here. And maybe this is the moment where Brett breaks away, because the gap's just starting to open as they come back towards Cotton Tree.
Yeah, look, you can see that he's really started. Sam's really finding it hard now, holding on. Brett is getting a sniff of the finish line and has really started. And once you lose contact, it's really, really hard to close that down again. You know, it's like a rubber band that gets stretched and stretched and stretched, and then it snaps, and then you lose contact, and then you're just out there by yourself holding, and it'll, you know, probably start to telltale sign is when you start looking over your shoulder and seeing how much distance you've got to the guy behind you, and he'll probably start to do that just out of sort of interest to know where he is. But Brett is just going to continue to wind it up and really finish on strong. He's an amazing runner, Brett. He's got incredible spread of PBs over everything from 1500. You know, he's run 3:38 for 1500. We're talking about Sam being a 5K specialist. Well, Brett's run 13:18 for 5K, which is super fast. And obviously, you know, sort of a sub 60, as we've said before, for the half marathon. He's got a PB of just under 2:11, 2:10.54 in London, which is probably his softer PB. Looking at his track times and stuff, I think, you know, he knows that he can run faster. He believes that he can run faster in the marathon. And it'll, you know, be great to see him finish on really strong, absorb and come off this half marathon really well. We were talking again about the shoes, and he was saying one of the big differences between these new shoes is the recovery. Is that actually, you know, sort of, it doesn't smash your legs around as much as
there's so much
what
foam
it does
in the bottom of them.
Just that shock absorption, but, you know, sort of it harnesses the energy, the gravitational energy that you're putting in there, and then you're able to come back really quickly. He said that before the shoes, he would take an extra couple of weeks to recover for his legs.
It's a much quicker split through that 5 kilometres there. That's the quickest 5 kilometres they've done so far. And Robinson leads in 44:31. And then just, 3 seconds back to McEntee. Liam Bowden, he's sitting in third at the moment. He'll be happy with that. And Adrian Potter there, 58 seconds back. Caleb Noble. So no Jack Bruce. I think Jack Bruce is sitting in that group there somewhere as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he can get back into the top 5. So really what we thought early on in the race, Robinson, he started slowly over the hill, wound it up, and that 5K he really turned it on and put the blowtorch to the rest of the field.
Yeah, huge kick down, you know, so from, sort of just over 15-minute Ks down to 14:30 pace is a massive drop. And like we said, you know, in that first 10K, he was holding himself back. His body wanted to go. You called him a thoroughbred. He wanted to get out there and race, but he was, you know, sort of on the reins, holding him back. And then now the second 10K, he's let himself go. He's opened up his stride. He's really starting to you can even see his breathing is at another level. Your respiration is a great indication of your threshold running. These guys will be trying to run at their aerobic threshold where they're just breathing strongly and heavily, not huffing and puffing, but big, strong, deep breaths so that they can metabolise and break up all the lactic acid that their body's producing. And that's right at the threshold. And this is the pace that he needs now to translate into his marathon. If he really wants to get out there and run one of those super times, 2:10, high 2:10s is, by world stages now, it's pretty pedestrian. And, the top guys are running, sort of 2:6, almost every day. So you've got to be out there. You've got to get under the 2.9. You've got to be running 2.7s, 2.8s now to be competitive on the world stage. We've only had 5 Australians that have run a marathon under 2:10.
Yeah.
And that's, Derek Clayton, myself, Pat Carroll, Lee Troop, and Steve Monaghetti. So if Brett is able to hold it together, and I must admit I'm really impressed with him. I haven't seen a lot of his racing, and so it's great to be able to witness this demonstration of his control and his strength and his rhythm.
He just looks comfortable.
He looks comfortable, and he's just, I think, going to be interesting to see 15 to 20 whether he can actually run even faster than that 14 to 30 5K that he did to break away from 10 to 15. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does, because he looks as though he's running faster and even more aggressively than he was from that 10 to 15.
Yeah, he's starting to wind it up there. So we had Robinson, McEntee, Bowden, Potter in 4th, Caleb Noble hanging strong in there in 5th, Bellet in 6th. He's 1:23 down. Michael Roger, he's 2:30 down. Sitting in no man's land, the 4-time Paralympian. There's about a minute and a half past him back to another group that's got Wong, Hewitt, Cook, and you'd expect Waitman to go through in that group as well. So they're sitting, well, she'll go through in about 48, 49 minutes through the 15-kilometre mark. So it'll be interesting to see how that translates for her moving forward. And Robinson is just opening that gap ever so slightly. It was 2 or 3 seconds just a kilometre ago, and now it looks to be 10 to 15, and he's going away. And what we expected to happen, and really what he said pre-race, it was no secret. He said he's going to sit in for the first 10 to 15 and then see how he feels. And somewhere around the 11 and 12 kilometre mark, he decided it is go time, and he's opened up a huge gap on the rest of the field. It was 2 seconds at the 15K. It'll be 15 seconds now to Sam McEntee, Bowden and Potter. They're just sitting on a minute. And this is Lisa Waitman. She comes back under the Marucci Bridge along the river, and she is looking very, very strong. She is gone through the 15K mark in, well, just under 50 minutes, so 49:46. So another 16-minute 5K split from her. How do you see that one?
Yeah, look, that lead group, or that second group of runners around Lisa has started to bust up as well as we move into the closing stages, or the second half of the half. And I'd still like to see Lisa have a bit of a go. There's no wind, so she's getting a little bit of a draft behind the lead runner there. But predominantly now she really, I think, needs to open up her legs and really stride out and really sort of finish on strong over the closing stages and push herself. She's running great. She's looking good. She's tucked in there, running comfortably. And now it's really just about the last little bit and really trying to squeeze every bit out over the last 5K. So she's really now, I think, got to get out there and get stuck into it a little bit. But she's obviously, she's running comfortably. It's wonderful to have the other runners coming back on the other side as well. And especially for Brett out there, he's broken away from the rest of the field and is running comfortably. But he's now got all of the other runners coming the opposite way that will be giving him a big cheer and encouragement and creating great atmosphere.
We'll take a look at the rest of the girls that have come through that timing pad there. 1:41, so Paige Campbell, Danielle Allen and Sarah Klein there. So interesting to see these three. Not the ones we were picking early in the race, but a couple of local girl there, Danny Allen, come from a surf background, now into distance running. She moved to Sydney and got into the running scene down there, and she's a very talented athlete. Not much of her at all, but 141 behind Lisa Waitman. Seems like they're running good times. They should be very happy with that split at the 15-kilometre mark. They're in for a good day.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's perfect conditions. It's a great race, great course, and you'd expect to be in good form and getting a good solid time out of this sort of a race. So no injuries coming into the race. She's had a great preparation, and I think she should get a lot of confidence off this run heading into the Berlin Marathon.
Very big year coming up, that's for sure. Sinead Noonan has gone through the 15-kilometre mark as well, 2:49 down on Lisa Waitman. So there's a gap of 1:41 between first and second, and then a gap of another minute back to the 5th place outside that group. Cassie Fiend's just gone through in 3:19 down on Waitman as well. So good quality at the front there, and we'll make sure we let you know all the time. And well, Robinson, he's working his way back into Maroochydore, going through the Ocean Street precinct. He can't be more than, 2 or 3 kilometres, or 3 kilometres out from the finish line there, looking comfortable. Big lead at this point there, and the stride hasn't changed. He's sort of looking around, checking the watch a little bit more. I guess maybe it's decision-making time for him, and does he just pack it in and get to the finish line, or is he going to push it for the next couple of kilometres? And I don't know. He looks very comfortable at this point.
Yeah, he's looking terrific, but it is starting to hurt. The last few kilometres of a half marathon, it doesn't matter how good a shape you're in. It's gonna start to hurt a little bit, and you're right. He's asking himself, what's my pace going? Do I want to really sort of squeeze it out, or do I want to just ease back and make sure I coast home and absorb 100% of the run, or do I want to push it out a little bit and deplete myself a little bit more and get a better training benefit from pushing this last little bit? So that's in his head. He's come up here. He knows that this is an important national championship for him to win. He's got that under his belt. That's all locked away. And now it's really just about, sort of whether he wants to make this a real hard hit out over the closing stages. I would imagine he probably would be a little bit conservative and just, sort of not absolutely squeeze everything out. But, on the other hand, it may be part of his race plan is really just to run hard over the closing stages as well, and use it as a springboard going into his next marathon.
Well, it's funny you say that, because the gap opened up and it was really sort of stretching out, but it looks like maybe Sam in the background, Sam McEntee there, he's just sort of closed it ever so slightly, or at least held it there. So he's not going away, the man in second place. And the gap was, I would have said it was up to 20 odd seconds, but now it's sort of closed ever so slightly. So if Brett's not careful, it could become more of a difficult race than he probably wants it to be. The last thing he's looking for is a sprint finish in the final Ks, and he'll just sort of settle into a rhythm. There's only realistically 2 turns left. He'll take a right-hand turn along the coastline, a little left-hand turn to sneak onto the main drive, and that's the finish line. So we're not too far away. We're probably looking in the 5-6 minute mark for Brett Robinson. So a couple of kilometres here, and Sam McEntee, he's refusing to go away. A big run from the man sitting in second place. He's got a PB of 1:03.07. Former Australian rep for the World Cross Country Championships, the 30-year-old, 1:03.07. Do you think that's out of range today? It'd be somewhere close if you really can push these last few kilometres.
Yeah. Look, I reckon it's getting pretty exciting. I mean, I don't know that Sam's going to take the win, but what he's going to do is he's going to give Brett a little bit of a shock.
Make him work for it.
Brett did look over his shoulder a couple of times, and I don't know whether he's feeling a little bit of discomfort out there. But I think if he turns around fairly soon and sees that Sam's actually starting to close, he's going to have to really dig deep and it will be interesting to see how he handles the last few minutes of this race. But sort of, he's still looking comfortable. Lisa's up there. She's now sort of saying, oh, will I go out? Will I break away? Or will I just tuck in there? Maybe she is starting now to actually go to the front, break away from the rest of the guys here, and just push herself out over the closing stages, which is what I'd like to see. It gives an indication that she's got that confidence, and also that her fitness is right up there going into Berlin. So, again, maybe she's a little bit conservative and just wanting to make sure that she doesn't deplete herself too much off the back of the half marathon.
Yeah, that's it. I'll run through the top 10 for the women through 15K. Lisa Waitman, Paige Campbell, Danielle Allen and Sarah Klein, the three girls in a group. Sinead Noonan in 5th, Cassie Fiend, then Vanessa Wilson, Lydia O'Donnell in 8, Isabella Pickett in 9 and Tennille Ellis in 10. About 4:44 between 1st and 10th on the women's side of things, so reasonably tight. Outside that, Blake, Ringy, Brain, Blaney, Simon and Poligzy there as well. So that's your top 15 on the women, but it's all Lisa Waitman at the moment. She had a, close to 2-minute gap at the 15K mark. I can't see that closing up, and it's her world, and we're just living in it here at the McDonald's Sunshine Coast Half Marathon, looking very, very strong. And she's just, I don't think she's changed her facial expression, the way she's run, her gait since kilometre 1 all the way through to, she's about 17K mark now. So it's been a very consistent performance from Lisa Waitman.
Yeah, look, runners, you create a groove, and your groove is your style. It's the arm action, it's the shoulders, it's the legs, where the hips align, and once you get into that groove, it's like a rut. Sort of driving down an old dirt road, and you lock into that rut, and you just stay there, and that's the most efficient place for you to be. Runners who don't do as much mileage and don't race as much, sometimes you're sort of bouncing out from one rut to another, and you're bouncing all over the place, and you're using a lot more energy. But once you actually lock into that, then it's much easier to just keep that pressure going there.
So we're into the final kilometre at the 20K, and once again a sub 15-minute split for both Robinson and McEntee, and it's interesting, in that 5K, I guarantee that gap stretched out to more than 4 seconds, but it's closed up ever so slightly. So it's not all going Brett Robinson's way at this point. It's Sam McEntee on the charge in the final kilometres, and he's heading down and turning onto the front stretch, and they're getting ready at the finish line because he is charging in. Liam Bowden in there in 3rd place. Jack Bruce, I knew he was in there. He didn't pop up on our last sort of split, but he's sitting in there in 4th place, and probably Adrian Potter will be the next one to come through. So the race for 3rd place is on as well. Just, less than 15 seconds, or a little bit over 15 seconds between Bowden and Bruce for the final spot on the podium. That will be a good race all the way to the finish. And Bruce got Bowden last year to win the title, and it looks like Bowden might do the same thing, or turn it around to get onto the podium here. But this is the race in the background. You can see Sam McEntee refusing to go away. Brett Robinson, he's only, a couple of minutes away, less than a few minutes away. We've just clicked over the 1:01 mark on course, and he has run very, very well, but I thought the gap would have been way bigger. Sam McEntee refusing to go away here, and just a 4-second gap, and I think maybe it's even closing ever so slightly, so maybe Brett's not feeling that crash hot coming towards the finish.
Yeah, look, you look, this last 5K was just a little bit slower than the previous one. From 10 to 15, he ran 14:33, where he really put the foot down and broke away. And then he's eased back from 15 to 20, so he's run, sort of 14:48. So, his attitude probably was to get to 10K, go hard, break up the field, and then just ease back a little bit and come home and still run solidly. But he is, looking over his shoulder, just making sure he's got enough distance to be able to cover the win. And he's coming into the last few hundred metres now, so he's a good solid run. I think a good indication that he's in great form like going into London Marathon.
That's exactly right. It has been a good, solid run. He sat with them for the first half. He tightened the screws between 10 and 15, and he will make his way into the finishing chute. And your McDonald's Sunshine Coast half marathon and Australian half marathon champion for 2022 will be Brett Robinson. He breaks the tape in 62.27, a great run from him there. And just behind him, and that might be a PB, Sam McEntee there, 62.37. So big run from both those boys. Only 5 seconds separated them in the end. What a race, and well, what a run. There's not enough to say about Brett Robinson. He looked like he controlled that one from the start. He said he was going to do it, and he delivered, and that's what champions do.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you got to deliver when you say you're going to, and it was great to see Brett be able to do that. You know, really impressed with his kick down from 10 to 15. And really impressed with his ability to be able to just, you know, sort of ease back a little bit and still run strongly over the last closing stages and hold on for the win. You could tell, you know, he wasn't after a time. He's obviously run heaps faster, being a sub 1 hour half marathon runner. So he's really just out here to have a good hard hit out and to get the win.
Yeah, and he's done just that, that's for sure. We're going to try and sneak down and get an interview with him in a few moments' time. But the podium has been run and won, and it was very, very strong. And I think Mark's down on the finish line with our winner, Brett Robinson. What a run, 62.26. Mark, it was quite the performance.
It certainly was, Josh. I'm with Brett Robinson here. Brett, you didn't have it all your own way. There was somebody behind you, wasn't there? Pretty close.
Yeah, I pulled away at like 14K, and then I was like, oh, I got this one. And then with a K to go, I'm like, oh, I'll check where Sam is. And he was like 20 metres behind me. I was like, geez, I better get my hurry on here.
Well, I think he was 4 seconds behind you at the end. How was the race? You were in a bunch of guys till the turn, about 10, 15K. And then even Deke said, yeah, I think he's going to lift here. He's going to negative split here. How'd you feel out there?
I felt good. I kept it pretty controlled and just thought I'd control the race and just kind of let the boys sit on me and then test them in that second half. So just put in a bit of a surge. Yeah, I think about 13, 14K and Sam came with me for a bit and then I pulled away and I was controlled the whole way. Beautiful
scenery out there for you, mate, and in good company. Lots of lads around you, good runners.
Oh, it was beautiful out there. The sun was right in our face, which was. I know you couldn't see some of it, but it's nice. It's a beautiful day here, but it was a good group of guys. I reckon a few PBs would have been run today.
Brett, a good head out for London on October the 6th. You feeling comfortable for that?
Yeah, definitely. I'll take confidence from that, just with how I felt. And that's running sub 3, so for the marathon I can run a bit slower and hopefully feel good through halfway and then be able to push that second half.
Well, we had our co-commentator Pat Carroll smiling at 61.11, but you got to come back next year. You got to get that eventually, hey?
Yeah. One day I'll do it. It's not my goal at the moment, but one day I'll come back and get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brett Robinson, our winner of the Australian Half Championships. Well done, Brett.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he'll be very happy with that one. Brett Robinson there, the Australian Half Marathon Champion and the McDonald's Sunshine Coast Half Marathon Championship. And now we're just, a few minutes away from Lisa Waitman and we turn to the women's race. But I'll just run through the final standings for the men. It was Robinson, McEntee, 1 and 2. Bowden got the bronze there. Bruce in 4th. Potter, Caleb Noble in 6th. Belay has crossed the line in 7th. So that's our top 7 as they've crossed. And Waitman's, she'd be a kilometre away, something like that. Looking for around that 70 minutes. We're expecting for her to come through. So a very good run from her, and it's been all her own way so far.
Yeah, look, I think, like we were saying before, sort of Lisa's, Brett, have come in here as a stepping stone. Good hard hit out leading into their marathons. And Lisa, was really controlled and comfortable through the most of the run. And it's only in the last K or so that she's actually started to go to the front and break away, and is really now running her own race. Really wants to focus on pushing after that last little bit. So another, sort of 16:36 5K split for that last 5K, and good to see her having the confidence to actually, sort of get out and just run by herself and really push it out over the last K or so.
You might have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's run a couple of 16:30s back to back to back, so extremely consistent there, and that's what you get from quality athletes. They understand the pacing. It wouldn't be off the watch. It'd be all feel for her, and through that, well, maybe 20.5 kilometres right now, it's back and forward with, I think that's Bryn Nichols there, who's been pushing her the entire way. So we're just moments away from our women's leader crossing the line and, well, being crowned the McDonald's Sunshine Coast half marathon champion and the Australian half marathon champion. I think, for the 4th time. This will be her 4th title that she'll collect. Very special. No other woman has had as many. No other woman, I think, has got 3 titles. So it's rare air for Lisa Waitman here, and the rest of the year looks very, very strong from her. She's ranked 6th all-time in Australian history for this event, so she's one of the greats, and we are seeing a very special performance from her today on the streets of the Sunshine Coast. And she's heading into Alexandra Headlands now, and there's not much more you can say about her. She's been spectacular out on course today. Workmanlike is the way I would describe it, because she has looked strong from the start, done the job, and has really been in a class of her own.
Yeah, look, in great form, and it's wonderful to see her holding her form together, a nice, strong rhythm. The fella next to her is giving her a bit of a push out, and now she'll be, targeting anyone in front of her as fixating on their back and really trying to stretch herself out over the closing stages. It's a great feeling to know you've won, and to be able to run a good solid time and finish on really, really strong. These guys they're good runners themselves, and wonderful to see Lisa being able to accelerate past them, hold her form together, keep your head nice and fixed, and no unnecessary body movement. Good to see a little bit of a competition between the guys and the girls out there. But come on, Lisa, you've really finished well here. Yeah. It's a great run, a great preparation. As you said, close to 70 minutes, 69 minutes. Again, another great indication that she's in good form going into Berlin Marathon.
That's it. The Sunshine Coast McDonald's half marathon women's champion and the Australian women's half marathon champion just maybe snuck under the 70-minute mark there is Lisa Waitman. What a performance from her. It is Lisa Waitman and Daylight in second, a huge gap there. It's been an incredible performance from her today. Very, very impressive. And then she had to, battle it out with the boys there at the end, because she was a class above in the women's race. It was very special to see.
Yeah, look, and, so different. Brett being up there by himself and being in that controlled situation. Lisa being in a bunch of men out there. But that's the way she's raced all the way through her career. She's used to running against the men. She's a class above the rest of the women in the field, and it's wonderful for her to be able to have the men around her to be able to help her maintain that nice, even pace. And as you said, sort of 14:36. There's her husband and son Pete, again, great confidence going into the big marathon in Berlin, where her whole focus at the moment, you only get to run a few marathons, in your whole life, in your whole career, and every single one is so special. And her absolute focus is now on Berlin and trying to get one of the fastest times for an Australian woman. And a good indication that I think she's on track to do that.
Yeah, great indication there. Not the fastest time she's ever run, but a strong run there. Just snuck under the 70-minute mark, so 109.51 for Lisa Waitman there. It was a very, very good performance, consistent and strong from her, just a minute outside her PB. So she's in good form, and if she is focusing on that marathon purely. It's a great start to her preparation into that one, and it was hugs all round for the family and friends on the line there, and that's what you want, and that's what these events are about. We'll wait to see who comes through second, third and fourth in the women's event here. It looks like, yeah, that is Paige Campbell making her way across. So she'll finish in second place. Paige Campbell, very good run from her. Very strong there, just around the 112 mark for Paige Campbell. So a little bit over 112. Strong from her, great run in second place. She'll be very, very happy with that one. And anytime you can dip into that 170 sort of mark. And Danny Allen has finished, and Sarah Klein have finished in third and fourth there. So strong from the girls, great running in that 70 range, Rob.
Yeah, look, great depth. You know, our women's distance running is so strong at the moment. And what happens is that, you know, sort of the expectation, you know, coming off the back of the World Championships and the Commonwealth Games especially, you know, sort of the whole standard just continues to rise. The expectations of times and competitions and performance on the world stage is right up there. And it's wonderful to see because they all push each other and help each other to get the best out of themselves.
Speaking of getting the best out of herself, down on the finish line is our winner of the Sunshine Coast Half Marathon and the Australian Half Marathon Championship is Lisa Waitman. She's with Mark.
Hey, Josh. Thanks, Deeks. I'm here with Lisa Waitman, a winner of our 2022 Australian Half Marathon. Lisa, memory of 3 years ago, 108.48. You weren't far away from it.
No, I was really enjoying it out there today. The conditions were absolutely beautiful. We got a bit of fog down at the U-turn, so it was pretty amazing just looking out at all the views this time. I think I had more of a focus last time, but this time I was enjoying myself and just running with the pack, and it was really nice.
We were watching you actually with a big bunch of guys, and they were all sort of hovering around you. The bike was on you with the camera, and there you were, little Lisa Waitman stuck in the middle of all these big fellas. You were doing very well.
Yes, I was very lucky. I owe it to that group. They kept me going, and I was able to hide in, and they blocked the wind for me. So thank you to the group of guys.
So 3 years ago, 108.48. This year, 109 highs. You're still in great form, Lisa.
Yeah, I'm enjoying my running. I'm really loving training with a group at home and running with Locke, and it's just been a really nice change this year to just pick a few things that I really love on the running calendar and go for those events and just be part of it. And I think that's really helped me keep fit and enjoy the training and the process.
I was talking to Rob yesterday about his long career at marathon, half marathon, and yours almost emulates the achievements of Rob. But tell me, what's coming up for you, Lise?
Well, I'm really fortunate to have my first opportunity to run Berlin Marathon in about 6 weeks. AFL Grand Final weekend, which is always a special weekend for us. So I'll be thinking that might be my AFL Grand Final, and hopefully I can get the PB I've been chasing for so many years.
Lisa, always great to have you here. You're almost like a local of Sunshine Coast, so thank you for coming back. Look forward to see you next year.
I absolutely will love it, and I think if I had to look at my bib number, 2032, I think that's an omen given the marathon's going to be here. So hopefully, you know, I can be back at least watching when you guys put on the event here.
There might have been a bit of intention behind that, Lisa. Well done. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Lisa Waitman, our winner.
2032, I like that one. The Olympic marathon, and I guess you'd understand it as well as anyone. Having an Olympic marathon in a place like this, it not only inspires the next generation, but it'll drive this generation to get through the next 10 years. And I don't know how many of these guys will see there in 2032, but I guarantee there'll be somebody watching this result today that will be. So it's something pretty special.
Yeah, look, really, really special. I mean, I go back to my win down in Brisbane, which is now 40 years ago almost to the day.
But who's counting? Counting?
And the chance to compete in front of your own home country and to, you know, sort of to be able to perform so well, to do yourself proud, to do your country proud. That's what running is about. You know, sort of we have the the sort of the big city marathons and the big city road races and all that sort of stuff. But it's really about the championships. At the end of the day, your achievements will be recorded by how well you perform in the major championships, the Commonwealth Games, the World Championships and the Olympic Games. And the chance to represent your country in your country is something so special. And in 10 years' time, I know you're spot on. There's so many young kids out there and so many of our, sort of runners in there from 15 through to 2025 that'll be absolutely inspired by all of our women. They've come off an incredible Commonwealth Games.
I was going to talk to you about the last sort of 6 months, the Eugene, Oregon World Championships into the Commonwealth Games, our middle distance runners and our distance runners. I think it was one of the best periods we've had in a very, very long time. And it's special. If you're a 15-year-old watching that on your television, you got to think in 10 years' time when those Brisbane Games come round, that's right in that sweet spot for you.
Yeah, look, you look at Ollie Hoare, in the 1500.
What a kick.
And, in athletics, you have 3 blue ribbon events: the 100 metres, the 1500 or the metric mile and the marathon.
Yeah.
And for Ollie to come out and to have such an incredible competitive race that just lifted and inspired so many other of our young middle distance runners, and then Jess in the marathon. It's wonderful to see. And I was saying before to you, Josh, sort of I'm so proud not just of their performances but of their character.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
The way they go about
amazing ambassadors. So they give so much back, and their integrity is so high. And they, we have a wonderful camaraderie within distance running where, you're out there, you're racing as hard as you can against each other, and you're working with each other to get the best out of yourself. A lot of ways you're racing against the distance. You're racing against the marathon or the half marathon. You're trying to get PBs, and the chance to be able to do that in your home country is something so special. So. All of anyone watching out there, if you're sort of between 15 and 25, and you've got any potential and talent, distance running is honest.
Yeah.
You do the work, you get the results. There's no shortcuts. You've got to get out there. You've got to do the mileage. You've got to do the quality sessions. You've got to get your recovery. You can't run hard and fast if you don't run easy and slow. And that variety, and then getting in with a group, and that's one of the great things we have now, I think, in Australian distance running and middle distance running, is we have this incredible group of runners that are supporting and inspiring and challenging each other to be the best that they can possibly be. So, exciting times ahead. We've still got a long way to go, 10 years.
Yeah, don't get too ahead of ourselves. 10 years time.
I'll be there in my Zimmer frame cheering everyone on from the sidelines. And but it's really exciting to see, and sort of all credit to events like this, sort of the Sunshine Coast Marathon Running Festival today. All credit to the sponsors, McDonald's and Westpac and the local council here for putting on such an incredible event. And congratulations to the organisers. Atlas Events.
They do a great job.
Do a great job, and that's what people expect now. You have an expectation that when you go to an event, it's going to be delivered really, really well, and that's so good. Not just for the elite runners, but for all of the mass participation.
The athlete experience.
Such a critical part of our sport is supporting runners to come out here and run PBs and to participate. We all know exercise and physical activity is so important for our mental health and our well-being.
Yeah.
And events like this are really critical to be able to encourage and motivate and support people to get out there. Put on your shoes, get out the door and just get it done.
And they offer a number of events around the country, up north, far northern Queensland, here on the Sunshine Coast. And if you want to go down and run in the cold, you can go to the Hobart Marathon as well. So jump on the Atlas events and the Atlas Multisport website, and all the details will be there if you want to come to one of the best run events anywhere in the world. And the athlete, like you said, the athlete experience is second to none. And just to jump back to that 2032 conversation, you talk about your Commonwealth Games run 40 years ago. From an outsider looking in, it seems like runs like yours inspire the next generation, which inspire the generation after that. And the guys running here today will inspire the ones that will come through. And that's what that camaraderie, and that's what it's about. You talk about giving back to a sport. Well, you put in special performances and you're giving back to the future, because there'll be kids sitting at home that watch races like this, that watch the Commonwealth Games, that mightn't have seen your run in 1982, but they'll have heard about it, that'll know that there's a special tradition of distance running in Australia. And it's, to be completely honest, it's a distance running tradition of punching above its weight. We're not the Ethiopians, but like you saw in Liam Adams at the Commonwealth Games, they get in, they have a damn good crack, and they come out with very special results. So it's something special to be a part of, and hopefully it continues over the next 10 years and well into the future.
Yeah, look, I'm sure it will. I mean, running's been around forever. Ever since man got hungry and went chasing food or whatever, travelling long distances. And I know, sort of through the work that I do with my Indigenous Marathon Foundation.
I want to touch on that as well. We've got a little bit of time now, so maybe it's a good time to touch on that and talk to us about the Indigenous Marathon project.
Yeah, look, sort of started back in 2010 when I took 4 Aboriginal men, two from Alice Springs and one from Arnhem Land and another one from the Kimberleys, on a journey where they ran the first marathon. They were the first Indigenous Australians to run a major international marathon, and they did it off about 7 or 8 months of running, from no running to going to New York City and running the New York City Marathon. And since then, what I saw was this incredible sense of pride and achievement that they and their families and communities had when they came home and they shared that journey. And over the last, sort of 12, 13 years, we now have 122 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island men and women from little remote communities and country regional areas and cities that have stepped up and taken on the challenge of going from pretty much no running to their first marathon on the world stage in just 6 months. And what that does is it takes you so far outside your emotional and your physical comfort zone that you have to really challenge yourself. And when you do something that's really hard, you have this incredible sense of pride and achievement, and that provides the courage for you to take on and address other issues in your life, whether it's finishing off a degree or starting your own business or whatever it happens to be, and that's what we see. It's one of the reasons running, and especially the marathon, is so popular, because it's a transformational life experience.
Yeah. If I can conquer the 42 kilometres, I can conquer anything.
Once you've run a marathon, you're never the same person.
Everything else is easy.
Because it will take you to a place where you have to dig so deep within yourself, and you draw on this, sort of almost like a superpower that we all have that most of us never tap into. But when you run your first marathon, you draw into that and you realise that power is there. And when life gets hard, and life does get hard, life can be one of the toughest things that you'll ever have to endure. You can draw on that realisation that you're stronger than what you ever realised, and apply that confidence and self-belief to get you through those tough times. And whether it's running with your kids in a stroller or sort of staggering across the line, it really is one of the most amazing senses of achievement that you can have.
Yeah, and that's it. And we've got, plenty of athletes still cruising across the finish line. We're going to go down to Pat Carroll, the man, one of the great runners in Australian history. He's on the finish line there, calling them across the line. We'll be back for the presentation in the booth in just a few moments' time. But Pat's down on the line, and he's going to call the rest of these guys home.
Gretel Whiteman, well done. Cameron Robinson, Samuel Hine, Jamil Isaac. Well done. Well done, Rebecca Pegg and Kai Newton. What a finish. What a finish. Well done, Lauren and Gary Eden. Go on you, Rob. Well done, buddy.
So Pat just came from having a chat to our top 10 runners in the men and the women in the half marathon. The feedback is it was very special out there. Perfect time. A lot of PBs run today. Jack Bruce did his own PB today, 63.20, and he was very pleased with that. Loves the new course that we took them out to Fisherman's Road, a bit further out that way. So also, they love that Mooloolaba Hill, Pat, right in the beginning.
Oh, well, good on him. And Liam Bowden ran a PB also, and Lisa Waitman, I think she was only 30 seconds or so outside her own Australian all-comers record. So what a massive run by Lisa.
Yes, mate. 3 years ago here, 108.48, broke her own record here, and she was literally less than a minute outside that.
What was her official time here this morning, do you know?
I didn't see it, Pat. I got to check it up.
I thought it was around about 69.30.
Yeah, we're doing prize giving in about 20 minutes' time, so I'll have all the official times from our timekeeper.
Yeah, and it's exciting that she's running the Berlin Marathon. So, gosh, if she can run a PB over there, that'd be almost a world age record for sure. Reuben Ripper, well done. Stephen Bloxon and Darryl Cross.
Yeah, Pat, great to hear with Lisa going to Berlin and, of course, Brett going to London. It's this event is such a great launching pad for them for their next step. And, of course, we've got Hobart Marathon on the 25th of September, put on by Atlas Events.
That's it, the first running of the Hobart Marathon. So that's exciting. So what's the date of the Hobart, mate? It's
It's Sunday, the 25th of September, Pat, and beautiful course starting at Constitution Dock, running through the Botanical Gardens and then over to Sandy Bay and then back. It's a really great course.
Well, I'm sure that'll be a winner, just like the all the events that Atlas Events put on. Aaron Cox, well done. Ben Wallace, Anthony Thurston, and Glenn Kidney. Congratulations. Here's our 1:30 pacer. Come on, give it up for our 1:30. Sub 1:30 for these runners here. That's 4 minutes and 15 seconds per kilometre. 4:15 per K for these runners here. Luke Bamback, Mark Bike, and Hannah Terry. Well done. Congratulations, Rebecca Preston. And we got Gary Butel coming down this finish straight here. Luke Lawson McLean and Giles Devlin. Well done, mate. Yeah, well, there you go. Matthew Beard, Alistair Wells, and Mark Gleeson. Well done. It takes all kinds here, Mark. Sam Raguina, Peter Jones, and David Stonley coming down the home straight. Hey, Peter, how you going, mate? It's been a while. Peter Jones, Paul Cleary, Lee Gunn, and Alish Dawson, Murray Carnell. Well done. Just over the 1:30 mark, although on chip time, these runners could still be breaking the 90-minute mark on chip time. So, well done. Around about the 90-minute mark for all these runners here in the half marathon. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Keep the applause going here for Melissa Stark. Well done. Amy Bennett, Bruce Cocking, and Murray Carnell. Well done. Good on you, Melissa Stark. Well done. All these runners here in the McDonald's half marathon. A huge thanks to McDonald's being the naming rights sponsor of the half marathon here this morning. Grab yourself a coffee over there at the McDonald's marquee. Over at the, if you're looking at the big screen. Hey, Matt, look at the big screen on the right-hand side of the big screen there. Daniel Dunn, Matt Allen just went through, Matt Welsh, and Paul Hitchman. Well done. On your Steph, Stephanie Lawrence, Zach Moran, Matt Walsh, and Yvonne Chi. Congratulations. Well done, Katie. Looks like our third pram across the line there. Cindy Buxton, Mark Jones, and Christian Mertes. Well done. Well done, Phil and Nick. And that's Gobrad, Cameron Binet, Shane Mitchell, and Josie Salahores. Get those arms up, Jose. On you, Jose. Josie Salahores. I love saying names like that. One hour and 33 minutes on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Porch, John Stansby, Peter Olsen, and Brad Hoff. Well done. Well done, Britt Chambers, Edward Kidney, Crystal Newman, and Louise Brownie. Well done. (62045), Chloe Glover. Go on you, Chloe. Oh, I'm right, thanks, mate. On your Carolyn, Chris McLaren and Carolyn Lean. Anna Mayer, Boyd McGahn, and Leonard Schmitz. Well done. 1 hour and 35 minutes on the clock. Come on. You can still break 1:35 on chip time. Come on. We got a birthday today. Katrina Ash. Sub 1:35 on chip time. Let's go. Come on, Guna. Mark Anthony all the way from Bris Vegas. All right, buddy. On your mark. Well done, mate. Mark Anthony just over the 1:35. Mike Holland, well done.
That's not good.
Mike Holland, well done. On you, Mike. Do you want to give Mike 3 cheers for Mike Holland? Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. On you, Mike Holland. I've got your wife, is it? Wife? Sister. Oh, well, there you go. Not from sister, okay. Not your sister. You still love him though, don't you? You love him?
No.
Oh, you love him. What's not to love about Mike?
Oh, did he?
Richard Fletcher, Craig Crouch, and Willis Lamb. Well done.
Yeah, she did really well.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, make your way over the finish line. Welcome home all these runners in the McDonald's Half Marathon. Brad Cullen, Richard Fletcher, Ashley O'Loughlin. 1 hour, 36 minutes on the clock for Laz Smith, David Whiting, and Lauren Ribbett. Well done. Hey, Lauren, how you doing? It's been a while. Good to see you, Lauren. Lauren Rivet, Owen Jones, Jason Wesley. Get those arms up in the air as you cross the finish line, folks. Come on. Photo time at the finish line. Get those arms up in the air. Go, blood, sweat and tears. Daniel Mayhew and Yolande Willemus. Well done. Go Watts Athletics, Sandra Doyle, Cameron Press, Will Davison and Gareth Lee. Well done. On your track, we got a runner here from Wazakonda, Anthony Bishop, Jack Devlin and Jackson Haynes. Well done. Great running here, folks, for Anna Mendez, Kel Donovan, Tom Hogarth, and Justin Elms. Well done. On your James, get on your Tansley and Robert. Well done. Jake Wellstead, Brooke Colby and Robert Rupa. Well done, all these runners here. Close on 8,000 runners involved in all the events here this morning. The half marathon, the 10K, 5K, also the kids run. David Lethbridge, Amy Leap, Aaron Borg and David Price. Well done. Here comes our 1 hour 40 pacer. These runners are running around about 4:45 per kilometre, so 4:45 per K pace is what these runners have averaged. 4:45 per K for the half marathon. Well done, Lauren McKenzie, Matthew Pietes and Martin Gilbert. Well done. Huge thank you to our event partner, Sunshine Coast Council. Proud supporter of the Sunshine Coast Marathon. Sunshine Coast Council is dedicated to creating new lifestyle and leisure opportunities, delivering a range of programs and facilities to encourage the community to make a healthy lifestyle choices and improve their general health and fitness. So huge thank you to the Sunshine Coast Council. Well done, Andrew Simmons, Scott McDonald and Damon Lee. Well done. Got a runner here from Watts Athletic, Nicola Pearce, Oliver Jones, David Gray and Carlos Herworth. Well done. Massive finish here by 4:6:28. Well done, Ben Grix. Well done, mate. Go, Pepper Brown. Well done. You see the marathoners across the other side of the finish chute here, heading back out to Maroochydore for their second lap. So all the best to our marathon runners. Michael Donovan, got a Indigenous Marathon Foundation runner coming through. Kieran Whitehead, Sarah Branscove and Katie McKean. Well done. Go Kate, Jenny Zenick and Tony Dunn. Well done. Keep it going, Fiona Layden. Come on, Fiona. Fiona Layden coming down the home straight all the way from Vegas. West End, in fact. West End. Go on you, Fiona. Jared Greentree, Courtney Dutton and Quinton McKelvey. Well done. Blood, Sweat and Beers all the way from Wynnum Esplanade. Go on you, ladies. You're going to have a Cardinal later on today? I think they will. Laura Burke and Thomas Alexander. Well done. All the way down the home straight, ladies and gentlemen, Carissa Miller, Robin Bell, Renee Brown, Ben Harris and Lauren Kidd. Congratulations. On your Peter, well done. Kevin Doe, April Sloan and Peter Clark, Sarah Saunders. Well done. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, give all these runners down the home straight here. Come on, make some noise down the finish straight. Thank you. Jeff Shaw, Nathan Waddell, Mark Close and Brandon Crook, congratulations. Good on you, Ash, Andon, Hamish Miller, Emma House, and Tony Baisden. Well done. Congratulations, Oscar Ryan, Tessa Porter, John Scully, Rachel Donaldson and Gareth McCready. Huge shout out to event partner Tourism and Events Queensland. The Sunshine Coast Marathon is supported by the Queensland Government through Tourism and Events Queensland and features on the list of It's Live in Queensland events calendar. There's no place like Queensland when it comes to combining Australia's best events with the most incredible destinations. So huge thank you to Tourism and Events Queensland. Jason Howard Mowat, Tegan Padgett, David Moss and Matt Pfeiffer. Well done. Come on, you can still break 1 hour and 45 minutes on chip time. Well done. Ian Cordell, Jody Sutherland, and Paul Nixon. Congratulations. Coming down the finish straight here, thick and strong, well under 1 hour and 50, 1 hour 45 in fact, for Al Smith, Ben Benet, Rachel Nunn and Steve McCall. What a run. On you, Steve. Some of these runners would have taken a couple of minutes to get across the start line, so we're still going to run under 1 hour and 45 minutes, so sub 145, well done. What's your friend's name? We'll give her a cheer. What's her name? Lily. Lunny. Lily Lunny. Yeah, from Brisbane. Three cheers for Lily Lunny. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Congratulations, Lily Lunny, all the way from Brisbane. On you, Lily. Anthony Costa, Dale Fenwick, and Kel Morris. Well done. well under 1 hour and 50 minutes in the McDonald's half marathon. Anna Ottaway, Jane Campbell, Les Dunn and Rick Thompson. On your Tia, on your Jane. Claire Cooney, where are you, Claire? Claire Cooney, one of the best violinists in Australia. On your Claire. Well done, Claire. She's miles away. Claire Cooney across the line. George Evans, Jack Robbins and Steve Pickering. Well done. Cue the applause going for Melvin Gonzalez, Jason Hunt, Tony Weller and Frankie Walker. On the mic, no. I'm involved in the event, but I wasn't on the mic. Who are you with? We've done. But what are you? Okay, Tara Evans, Leon Stone, Mark Gawley, and Luke Thomas. Well done. Yeah, it was a big thing back in the day, mate. Christian Warren, Joshua Fleming, and Pamela Redshaw. Well done. Good call. Yeah. Scott Sheldon, well done. Marika Anderson and Isabel Thompson, well done. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise down the finish straight. Thanks. Come on, under 1 hour and 50 minutes, sub 1 hour and 50. You have broken 1 hour and 50 minutes in the McDonald's half marathon. Well done. Under 1 hour and 50 minutes. Congratulations, Caitlin Heron, Caitlin Riordan and Jack Williams. Well done. What's that called? Browns Gallopers coming through. Go the Browns Gallopers running group. Go Browns Gallopers. We got the 1 hour and 50 half marathon pacer. Go the 150 paces. Peter Dunn, go on you, Peter. Good to see you, Peter. Peter Dunn all the way from Brisbane. Oliver Harris and Mark McCallissy. Give me a hoy, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anyone special you want me to acknowledge as they come down the home straight. Rob Ratcliffe, Emma Hicks, and Ben Woolhouse. On your Ben. Benny Woolhouse. Where are you, Ben? Go Christine. Sean Miles and Erica Loney. Well done. Here comes Betty Wedding. Go on you, Betty. Great to have you involved here, Betty. Betty Wedding just crossed the finish line. Well done, Betty. Rachel Putnell and Guy Amy. Well done. when they started. I can't remember. Dead for 12 years. I'm not really touch up there. Jess Kaiser, well done. Matt Smythe and Trevor West. Keep it going, folks. Bo, yeah, well done. Great run, Ben. Jen, great run. Natalie Mullen, Belinda Witness, and Noel Price, well done. Under 1 hour and 53 minutes, 1:53, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Kelly, Janine Hordren. Got the feel in your body, ladies and gentlemen. Jordana Neal, Aslan Begley, and Timothy French. Well done. Look at the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Well and truly under 2 hours. Well and truly under 2 hours. Huge round of applause for Taylor Gettings, Bridget Bredden, and James Crook. Well done. On your Eugenie. Darren Clough, where are you, Cloughie? Here comes Cloughie and his lovely daughter. Look at this. What's your daughter's name? Shez. Shezzy Clough. On your Shez. Well done, father and daughter across the line. Shez Clough, congratulations, Shez. Debut half marathon. Give her a big hug, Cloughie. Michael Baker, Marie Radcliffe, and Jacob Hughes Smith, congratulations. On your lead, well done. Michael Jenner, Andrew Maynard, and Baxter White, Lincoln Morris, well done. And we got Misfit just across the line, Kim McFadden, Christian Thompson, Jacob O'Keefe, and Connor Walker. On your Rachel Payne and Ben Buckley, Alex Drummond, well done. And Scotty Mills, Tanya Buckley, congratulations.
Hey, Josh and Pat, I'm over here at the prize giving, and we'll call them out. Our first prize, helping me present today, is Mandy Wentworth, Operations Manager at Macca's Sunshine Coast. Mandy, come on board. This has been a bit special today, hasn't it, half marathon?
It has, very special.
So, big streaming, big crowds. You must be pretty proud.
Yeah, I'm very proud to represent McDonald's today.
Well done. Thank you for coming.
McDonald's
so
today.
We're going to call our wheelie division winning, and that is Natasha Price. Natasha, come on over. Well done. Is Natasha? Natasha's well not sure, but she thinks this is a PB time for her. Not quite. 1:17. Well done, Natasha. Well done, Natasha. Mandy, if you could grab that on the far right-hand side. No, that's the far left-hand side. Well done, Macca's. That's a... Ladies and gentlemen, our wheelies division winner for the half marathon, Natasha Price. Well done, Tash. We'll hold that for you so you can get back out. Winner for the half marathon. So we're leading on now to the female division, and it was quite a race. And we'll walk our way through from third place. Sarah Klein in a time of 1:12.26. Well done, Sarah. Klein in a... In second place, Paige Campbell in a time of 1:12.14. And one of our favourites, our record holder at this event and Australian all-comer record, Lisa Waitman, 1:09.51. Only 1 minute outside Lisa's own personal best. Well done, Lise. Come on the stage, girls. So Lisa holds the trophy. You're in the middle, Lise. We're sorting out the envelopes. Have we got them right, Mandy? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, our winners for the McDonald's and Australian Half Marathon Championships. Thanks, guys. Great job. And I'll call up now the place getters and podium for our men's division. In third place in a time of 1:03.02, Liam Bowden. Well done, Liam. Good job, mate. In second place, only by 4 seconds. I won't tell you why Sam ran so fast in the last 5 kilometres. It was a personal message. Sam McEntee, well done, Sammy. Sam's even got a pin up there for signing autographs. And of course, our winner today in a pretty decent time, 1:02.26, Brett Robinson. Well done, Brett. Brett Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, kids, our podium for our men's McDonald's Half Marathon and Australian Half Marathon Championships. Well done, lads. Cross back to you. Thanks, Pat.
Well, 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. We're still breaking 2 hours on chip time. Congratulations. We got ladies here holding hands. Trace and Jules, go on, you girls. Well done. Congratulations, Vanessa Gibson, Samuel Char, Jamie Ryan, and Jamie Smith. Congratulations. Two-hour mark in the half marathon. Birthday today by Andres Humer, Annette Sultana, Teresa Schmidt, and Liam Bartz. Well done. You've done it, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. We're all very proud of you. Great half marathon today by you. Well done. Rachel Lockman, Luke Kennedy, Catherine O'Connor, and Chris Fox. What a run. Congratulations, Monty Ferguson, John Rasmussen, and Sam Carter. Well done. On your Razza, well done, mate. Andrew Patterson, Logan Cagney, Ryan Chapman, and Tiffany Stansfield. Well done. Got one of Rob's runners there from the Indigenous Marathon Foundation. Bryony Sanders, David Newell, Bradley O'Hagan and Emily Akama. Well done. Keep the applause going, ladies and gentlemen, for Natalie Schultz, Peter Rogerson, and Crystal Hawes. What a run by Crystal Hawes. Well done, Chris Gilmore, John Stones, Angela Bernardis, Emily Green, and Daniel Bell. A lot of these runners here will still be under the 2-hour mark for the half marathon. Chrissa Kennedy, Tracy Warnes, a lot of running groups represented here this morning as in training, or the in training running group based in Brisbane. We got Wayne Gort, Megan Murdoch, Amanda Doyle. Well done. 2 hours and 4 minutes on the clock for the marathon, ladies and gentlemen. 2:04 for the marathon. The first marathon is across the line here in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes for the first marathoners. Kerry Rowe, Daniel Edwards, and Hayley Cooper. Well done. Hey, Michelle. Daniel Edwards, Christine Gailey, Ben Stevens, and Ian Spence. Well done. Well done, Penny Drummond, Lachlan Spark, and Campbell. Simon Quackenate. Where are you, Simon? I saw your lovely wife come through here earlier on, mate. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, keep the applause going for Tara Lister, Nick Wright, Leandro Lemos, and Sharon Denley. Well done. Go the Lomas, Aveen Kerr, Lydia Kramer, and Jane Gotkin. What a run. On you, Jane. Well done, Ingrid. Darren Adam. What's your friend's name? I'll give her a cheer. What's your friend's name? Lee. Lee who? Lee? Lee Rosman. 3 cheers. On you, Lee. What a run. 3 cheers for Liz Rosman. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Congratulations, Lee Rosman. Well done. Kat Gibbons, congratulations. Yvonne Gordon and Robert Alexander. Well done. Yeah, just had a visually impaired runners come across the line. Well done. Hey, Steve Manning, on you, Steve, all the way from In Training Running Centre. Steve Manning. Is that a PB, Steve? PB, mate. Jane and Belinda Hanahan. Hand in hands for the Hanahans. There you go. Robert Hugen Dawn, Joe Bottrell and Teresa Griffiths. Well done. Cue the applause going for Ricky Saxon, Joe Thompson, Gillian Simpson, and Shane Ryan. Well done. Nikki Keane, David Oyston, and Jane Kirkpatrick. Well done. Ricky, one of the marathoners going to come. Half marathon, close. Hello. Hello. Oh no. Well done, Leonie Dobson. Look, Leonie, that's not Dobson. Leonie Dodson, Hayden Forrester, Stephen Kennedy, and Jenny Murphy. Well done. David Seville, congratulations. Luke Jennison and Katie Fisher. 2 hours and 10 minutes on the clock for the half marathon. Janine Moore, Luke Jennison, and Angela Borth. Well done. Keep the applause going here for Shelley Howard, Shani Maladi, Alan Mack, and Ben Anderson. Congratulations, Ben. We got a predicted finish time for the marathon around about 2:25. So the first marathoner will be here in about 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So about 15 minutes. Hey, how are you? In about 15 minutes, like the first marathoner across the line. There was Sally Matsubura on your Sally. Georgie Snell, Joshua Smallsman, and Louise Cornage. Well done. Massive finish there by Joshua Smallsman, Charlie Jones, and Elise Sue. Congratulations. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in about 15 minutes or less than 15 minutes, we'll have the first runner across the line in the marathon. So less than 15 minutes to have the first runner across the line in the marathon. Sebastian Porter, Lachlan Fife, Rita Gollart, and Ebony Porter. Well done. On your back, Beck Berglund coming across the line. 2 hours and 12 minutes on your back. Beck Berglund has crossed the line. Well done, Beck. Keep the applause going for Megan Hunt, Sarah Heenan, Shannon Rubino and Kerry Lim. Congratulations. Just over 10 minutes, we'll have the first runner across the line in the marathon, Sally Firth. On your Sal Firth, cross the line, 2:13. What a run. Hayden Kingston, Laura Taylor, June Cook, and Elizabeth Richards. Well done. Coming down the home straight here, Pam Richards, Mark Larson, Hayden Kingston, and Kieran Ruddock. What a run by Kieran. Got a dark runner there all the way from the Sunshine Coast. Kate Pascoe, Alison McGeary, and Kieran Ruddock. Well done. Dylan Walsh, Janelle Caden, Natalie Collings. We got a birthday today. Renee O'Sullivan. Happy birthday, Renee. Where are you, Renee? Put your arms up, Renee. Where's Renee? Renee O'Sullivan's birthday today. On you, Renee.
And we're back in the commentary booth. Pat Carroll down there on the finish line calling everybody across the line. 7,500 competitors across all the events.
Yeah.
It's a huge day for them, and we had a huge half marathon championship earlier on in the day. Robert, it was a great event. Let's take a look at the results. We'll take a look at the men's top 10 to kick things off. And 1:02.26 for Brett Robinson. It was a great run, and Sam McEntee, well, pushed him the entire way, didn't he?
Yeah, look, great hit out for Brett. As we said, he's on track for the London Marathon in about 6 weeks' time. Cruised through to 10K, put in a hard 5K from 10 to 15K and broke up the rest of the field and opened up a good lead. And then sort of eased back a little bit over the last closing 5 or 6K. Crossed the finish line really comfortable. He's really happy with the way he felt. And terrific run by Brett. And Sam also, I think it was a pretty solid PB for him. Got dragged through by Brett. And there was a big group of runners up there for that first 10K. Terrific conditions, perfect conditions for running. Great course. Great surface, amazing backdrop, and great crowd support. So great morning for all of the fellas there. And as I said, really excited to see how Brett goes in London now.
Yeah, Brett, Sam, and Liam rounded out the podium there with a 1:03.02. That was the top 10 for the men. We'll take a look at the top 10 for the women, and well, it was all Lisa Waitman. She finished just under that 70-minute mark, 1:09.51. A great run for her. Then a very tight race for second, third and fourth between Paige Campbell, Sarah Klein and Danny Allen there. A gap back to Sinead Noonan, Fiend O'Donnell, Tennille Ellis, the defending champion, finishes inside the top 10. Wilson and Pickett. A quality women's race there, very tight for the minor placings, but Lisa Waitman, she was the one, wasn't she?
Yeah, look, Lisa really was, 2.5 minutes in front of the rest of the women there, and really is a demonstration of her dominance in the field. And also on track to run a great time in Berlin in another 5 or 6 weeks' time. Both Brett and Lisa really sort of coming in here, not just to win the national title, which is really important, but also to use it as a good, solid and serious hit out and a gauge. Sort of so important and so difficult sometimes for these top runners to have a feel for how their preparation and training is going as they're heading into the final stages of their marathon preparation. So Lisa's in great form. She was a long way in front of the rest of the women, but she had a group of men around her and pretty much ran with the fellas all the way through. And she, at the finish, was grateful for their support in helping her to push hard over the closing stages. So, another great race.
Yeah, it was a great race, that is for sure. And the runners will continue for the rest of the day, but that will wrap us up for the live stream here. On behalf of myself, Rob, Mark and Pat, the entire team here at Atlas Events. If you want to check out any of their running events, they have them all over the country. Of course, the Cairns Marathon, the Hobart Marathon, Sunshine Coast and Brisbane Running Festival as well. Make sure you go to My Atlas Events. All the information will be there. On behalf of the entire team here, this has been the McDonald's Sunshine Coast Half Marathon and the Australian Half Marathon Championships. Thank you for watching and goodbye.